Great herbal day. This is Dr. Herb Sister, and this is the WombNiVerse tour. Coach Ajay and myself have been working diligently on bringing information to areas and to women who wouldn't normally have access to this kind of information. So we are constantly in flux as life is. We put it on live because we want more people to have access to it, because we are in a state of emergency as far as our womb wellness, our womb health, and our womb protection is at this time. There's a war on wombs. Let's just put it plainly, So with the information that we have been bestowed, we know that it's our charge to give this information to as many women as possible. So we're going to be here for the next hour. So tell your sister friends, get them off here wherever you can. We here on live, FB, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn. So get your people and let them get ready to take some notes and understand what they need to do to protect their wombs, because there is a war on wombs. Let's tell the truth and shame the devil, right? Okay, so Coach Ajay will be here any moment. She does womb steams, sweetspotAtlanta.com. That's her. And I'm Dr. Herb Sister. Number one, we're going to be talking about the stress, because so many people right now are under stress. The stress of what it does to our wombs. We have fibroids, and most womb issues are created because of emotional and physical toxins. Emotional toxins are just as real as physical toxins. So when you're, upset about your job, when you're upset about your living circumstances, when you're upset about your kids, your partner, your lunch wasn't right, all of those things build up in your womb, which is your creative chakra, and causes a problem. And that problem is something that will cause you to have, we already know about the migraines and those kinds of things that are also caused by stress. But the things that are caused by stress that are overlooked are also, part of the womb load, the load of the emotional and physical toxins that's being put on the womb. One of the ones that I like to talk about immediately is the good girl syndrome, as far as the emotional toxins. Most women will end up doing everything for everybody else and putting themselves at the bottom of the list. And over time, a certain resentment builds up. And even if they don't want to consider it a resentment, what they do is they kind of keep score. They kind of say, well, I've done this for my mom, and I took care of my dad, and I helped my daughter with her children, and I'd stayed late at work and they didn't pay me overtime, and so they're building up all what these things that they consider points, like a point system. But there's no points. I don't know where these points are being kept. And most women who are keeping these points are highly pissed off about how their life is going. And the points are not helping them at all. And I don't know where these points are. So these women are going out of their way, sacrificing their body, their money, their time. And then they want people to acknowledge that they are a person who sacrifices, who self-sacrifices, who basically puts themselves on the line for other people. Nobody does that. No, that's an ideal world where someone says, oh, you're so good to everyone and not to yourself. And we're going to do what? They're going to do what for you? That's going to make up for you not having what you need. You not having, your time, your money, your energy. What can they do for you? Nobody can take care of you better than you. So that's number one. If you can't fill other people's cup from an empty cup. So if your cup is empty, how are you going to do anything for anyone? It's not possible. So what we've decided in WombLoveOlogy and in, helping women to create wellness for their wombs is that you have to do what makes you comfortable. You have to learn the word no. You have to learn, I'll check my schedule and get back to you. You have to learn, I'm not available on that day. You have to learn, that's not going to work for me. You have to learn, I'm not available at all for that. That's not something I'm interested in. I mean, you are a grown ass woman. And in that role, you owe it to you first to do what's necessary for you. If you don't have a plan, you plan to let other people plan for you. And that is part of the good girl syndrome. So that's what you're going against. I have worked with so many women, the stress of making sure that they are not seen as a person who is selfish. You can't worry about that, sis. You cannot worry about what other people think about you. You have to worry about you, number one. So most of the women that I work with, they don't have a long-term or short-term goals that are written down. They're always keeping their options open so that they can do for other people at the drop of a hat. That's not healing for your womb. And you know what? One of those things that I think that we need to do kind of right now is kind of do a womb check. You can do that on a regular basis, checking in with her. Your womb is a her, you're a her, everything in your body is a her, right? And checking in with her to see how she is doing. So how do you do that? I'm going to give you, and Coach Ajay is coming in soon. We're going to give you several different skills to help you in helping to heal your womb. The first one, checking in with your womb and how she feels every day. So what you do, you sit down, you put your hands on your thighs, palms up, and you breathe with your eyes closed, and you run energy from the floor, from the ground, through your toes, and then through your ankles, and then through your calves, and then up through your knees. And you can color that energy that you're grounding and running. And I like mine to be purple. So you can see a purple mist or purple electricity. Purple is coming up and it's coming into your knees and then into your thighs, and your hands are on your thighs, right? And you're breathing in and breathing out, and you're breathing in and you're breathing out, and you let that energy come all the way up into your hips, and then you can still feel it coming through your toes, your calves, your knees, and then it gets to your womb because you're at your hips, and you're able to move that mist or that electricity around in your womb. And then you can see, is it moving or is it stuck? Is it, can you even visualize where your womb is? Can you feel your body in that whole region? That's your creative chakra. That's where all of our businesses, all of our ideas, all of our energy, all of our everything comes from that space right there. And we know that from, days in the past when you would have cramps, menstrual cramps, or any type of issues going on. You could even take it as far as saying a stomach ache. If you would have a stomach ache, what would you feel? Right there, you would feel like you got to ball over and protect it and hold it tight and protect it. But you don't feel like doing anything else except holding it. That's how you can check your womb. If you can have your hands on your thighs, feel this energy coming around in your womb, in your belly, around your navel, up into your breast, moving up into your chest, shoulders, arms, and you can still feel that energy. Is that energy moving around in your, what a lot of people want to call their stomach, but that, that whole area there, below the navel, that's your womb? Are you able to feel that? Is anything moving? Can you feel this energy moving through your system? If so, is it feeling light, or is it dragging, or is it hard, or is it even available to you? This is a womb check. And once you do this womb check and you do it every day, you will get better and better at understanding and feeling how she's feeling, how she's doing, how she is reacting to what's going on today, what may have gone on yesterday. And you could feel that fire of energy that's coming around. Now, mine feels good. Mine feels good. And I know why. I've been doing a detox. And so it's unobstructed. There's no barriers. There's nothing holding it down. There's nothing holding me down. So it feels good. So do this womb check every day. And that will help you in understanding how you need to move as far as how you need to live your life in that way. If you could start feeling and doing that womb check and feeling how she feels, and then soon as somebody comes in or something happens and it's an annoyance to you and you feel like you got to hold your stomach or catch your breath, then you got to get away from that. You got to walk away, run away, take yourself out of that energy. And you have every right to do that. So we're talking emotional toxins, which most people will just relegate to, oh, she's too sensitive. No, if it affects you, it's you. It's not too much anything, So then we go from having done the womb check. We've done the womb check. So that's part of the emotional toxins. So what other types of toxins are there contributing to your womb? Let's just tell the truth and shame the devil. Poor sexual mates, because they have contact with your womb. If you have a poor sexual mate, somebody that you just with for sex, is nothing else going on with it, that affects your womb. And that has to stop to help you heal, What other types of emotional things affect your womb? Horrible, bad food, which I would have to say that a lot of fast food falls into this category. A lot of prepared, pre-mixed, pre-whatever food that affects you. And that's part more on the physical toxins, because those things give you, drugs that they fed the animals. Most time it's animals. Let's tell the truth. And those types of drugs go in, and they also feed energies that contribute to fibroids. And if you have small fibroids, maybe fibroids run in your family. And so that's a genetic disposition. That's something that is already in your house, you know? So if you are eating poor food, bad food, chemically laden food, those chemicals help to start and grow those fibroids. And then everything else contributes to the growth of those fibroids, you know? So, you know, that's rolling through the drive-through, eating prepared foods. If it's 2 for 1 and you think you're getting a deal and everything is white on there, you're not getting a deal. You're actually contributing to your womb issues, you know? One of the things that I like to suggest to women, in addition to, you know, the alcohol, is another one of those things that contribute to women's womb issues. If you already have fibroids and you're feeding it alcohol, that's feeding it the highest level of sugar. Sugar is a contributor to growing fibroids. And that's why when I have women and I put them on a program, one of the things that I ask them to do is to eliminate sugar, including fruit, because a lot of times people eat fruit as a way of keeping themselves going, thinking that all fruit is healthy. Fruit is healthy. Everybody doesn't have the same body, though. So if you have fibroids or anything that's even like fibroids, fruit is not your friend, because that sugar is growing the fibroids, in addition to the drugs from the fast food and the alcohol. All of those things grow fibroids, you know? And if you hate your job, that grows fibroids, because that emotion is turned up in there. You hate your job, you hate your mama, you hate, you know, your commute, you hate where you live, your kids get on your nerves, your partner, you know, is not the one you want, but you're just there. All of these things, emotional and physical, contribute to fibroids. And whenever I'm doing a consult with someone, I can usually tell within the first 10 or 15 minutes what is the problem, why the fibroids are there. I can tell within the first 10 or 15 minutes, because most of the time, women, we have a very high tolerance for nonsense, for pain, for, you know, things that we just don't want, discomfort. We have a very high tolerance for that. And we'll just keep going, and allow ourselves to adjust and say, well, I know how she is. Well, I know how he is. You know, I'm not studying them. I don't think about that. They don't get on, you know, they used to get on my nerves. I don't even think about it now. I'm used to it. Yeah, that's what happens. You get used to it mentally, but you don't get used to it womb-wise. You don't get used to it womb-wise. And womb-wise is the most important indicator that you have, because it's not only your intuition and your creative energy, but it's also the energy that you need to motivate yourself to do things in life. You know, that is where not only your intuition comes from, but it's energy for life. And when you give over this energy for life to everybody else, because they take precedence over you, you've allowed yourself to be less than. You've allowed yourself to be not important. You've allowed your womb to understand that she's not important. And when what has happened when things are not important? They don't care about themselves. So if you're having a cycle that's over 4 days, extremely heavy bleeding, you know, all kinds of pain and cramps and nausea, headaches, all of this is a hormonal imbalance, but it's all caused by something. If you are using toxins from lashes, don't you know that those glues and those toxins on those glues can not only blind you, but give you rashes, and everything that you put on your skin goes all the way through your body. It's circulated all throughout your body. So the glue that's on the lashes, the glue that's on the weaves, the synthetic fiber that's in the Shein clothes, all of these things are toxic. And I know, even perfume, you can spend $200 on perfume. Oh, it's very expensive. It doesn't matter how expensive it is. Perfume is made in a certain way. They have secret scents in those perfumes that they don't even put on the bottle. Those things mainly are toxins, and most of us do not want to change our look. I just changed my look. Big deal. You notice I have this head wrap on, and normally when I have a head wrap on, the head wrap is like huge because of all the hair. But recently I cut all my hair off, and I felt so much better, because hair is another one of those things that carry toxins. The Native Americans, when they have trauma or something big that happens in their life, their family, etc., one of the first things they do to start over is to cut that hair, take their hair down. And I did notice that I started sleeping better. My whole life changed. It was so good that I felt like I should go all the way to bald. That's how great it was. I thought, maybe if this good, maybe I should go to skin, go to bald, and maybe see how much better it could get. I didn't go to bald, but certainly thought about it. And it's not off the table. It's not off the table. But as we continue with talking about the toxins and how we release toxins, one of the things that I offer you as an exercise to, help to affect your womb in a positive way, if you've been affected by the good girl syndrome, and most of us are. We don't call it that. We just call ourselves, everybody depends on us, or everybody looks to us for advice, or everybody loves how we do X, like make potato salad or make pies or make cakes, or, so everybody always comes to me when they want X. All of that, especially when you don't give people barriers and parameters, all of that is part of being a good girl. And what you're doing, oh wow, what you're doing is you want to, can you let me see. Coach Ajay is trying to come in, and we must be in two different studios. So I got to get her into this studio so she can be here with us. And I don't want to lose y'all, because that is not how we want to do this. I hope that I have the right one. So hopefully she'll be here in a second. What I was going to say is we want to maybe write a letter to the good girl and tell her all the things that we have been disappointed about, and how we don't want this as part of our life anymore. Even though it may have served us in the past and it may have given us something, it no longer serves us. And it's okay. My hair no longer serve me, different habits no longer serve. And when they no longer serve, then you need to go ahead and be willing to grow and go forward. And that is perfect. It's a perfect way of living. The way we set up this event as various stages, it no longer was serving the energy that we needed it to serve. So we had to continue to change it so that it can still do what our major goal was, which was to get the information out to the women. Sometimes we get stuck on the channel versus the goal. You know, one of the things one of my great friends says all the time is that working for you? You know, is that going to make it? Is that going to achieve the goal that you expected? You know, and many times it's not achieving the goal we expected, but we can't let it go. You know. Write a letter and unsuppress those emotions, relieve that stress, increase that creativity toward the end. After you finish writing the letter and letting go everything and coming up with a plan. So say, for instance, if you in a roommate situation that is no longer serving you, what do? Well, I think the best thing, let me see what's going on. You know what? I think I'm going to have to go out and come back because it seems like everybody is having a problem getting in. And I need to make sure that this is doing what it's supposed to do, right? We're just talking about if it's not working in one way, you got to make it work another way, right? So we're going to stop this right now and I'm going to come back in. So don't leave and we're going to keep going, okay? 1 second. Dr. Herb Sister.